Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, July 14th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with last night's episode of Ring of Honor streamed on Honor Club and featuring matches taped last Saturday at the End Market Arena in Savannah, Georgia. In the main event, ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Champions Brian Cage, Toa Liona, and Bishop Khan of the Mogul Embassy defeated the team of Christopher Daniels, Matt Sydal, and Darius Martin in a non-title match. In another non-title match, ROH World Women's Champion Athena defeated Ava Lawless. 23 out of Athena's 34 singles matches since winning the ROH Women's title last December have been non-title encounters. In other results, the Kingdom defeated the Boys, Shane Taylor beat Sean Dean, Dalton Castle topped Tony Nese, Layla Hirsch pinned Bambi Hall, and Big Bill went over Serpentico in the opener. In All Elite Wrestling news, the company is planning some major alterations to its product according to a new set of guidelines circulated backstage and among some AEW officials as reported yesterday by Fightful Select. The stated goals of the changes include the safety of the performers and of audience members. The document includes a list of prohibitions including spots and maneuvers that would be banned outright going forward, as well as others that would require permission from coaches, legal, talent relations, and/or the medical team. Included among banned maneuvers are unprotected chair shots to the head, shots to the back of the head, buckle bombs, seizure selling, spitting, bleeding in the crowd, as well as the use of weapons in the crowd, taking drinks or food from fans, or making physical contact with fans during matches. Among the many spots and maneuvers that would require pre-approval are spots and bumps on the ring apron or outside the ring, table, ladder, or chair spots, all pile driver variations, high-risk dives and top rope moves, intentional bleeding, thumbtacks, barbed wire, and other puncturing objects, injury spots and angles, and any physicality taking place in the crowd. AEW encouraged talent in the document to speak to those in authority to clear and plan such spots or maneuvers as early as possible so they could be executed with the necessary preparation. In injury news, Mark Briscoe has been injured and will be unable to wrestle at Ring of Honor's next pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor, on July 21st, according to an announcement made on social media yesterday from Tony Khan. Briscoe had been scheduled to challenge ROH World Champion Claudio Castagnoli in the main event of Death Before Dishonor. Khan stated that Castagnoli's new challenger would be announced during next Wednesday's episode of Dynamite. Although Khan did not elaborate on the nature of Briscoe's injury, a Fightful report described it as a serious knee injury that will likely require surgery. In ratings news, last Wednesday's Dynamite brought 825,000 viewers to TBS, down 3.5% from last week's audience of 855,000, according to WrestleNomics. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was .29, representing 385,000 viewers, and even with last week's key demo rating. Impact aired last night on Access TV from Center Stage in Atlanta, featuring matches taped on June 24th. The show closed with a pull-apart brawl between Trinity and Impact Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo after Trinity initially saved Purrazzo from an attack by Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, and Jai Vidal.
Oh, but inside the ring, Slammiversary opponents. It's all about one thing, the Knockouts World Championship.
Two athletes, one goal, one championship, and here we go!
Oh! And the uneasy alliance for weeks is over. They are opponents at Slammiversary, going at each other tonight.
That's right, if there was any doubt.
Who will walk away with the Knockouts World title this Saturday at Slammiversary?
The post-match brawl occurred after the main event in which Purrazzo had successfully defended the Knockouts title against Jody Threat via submission. In other Impact results from last night, Moose and Brian Myers beat Sami Callihan and Rich Swann. Joe Hendry and Yuya Uemura defeated Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. Speedball Mike Bailey topped Kevin Knight, and Zachary Wentz went over Chris Bay. In Major League Wrestling news, MLW presented Fusion yesterday on its YouTube platform, featuring matches taped last April at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. Del Miexo defended the MLW featherweight title against the woman she won it from, defeating Taya Valkyrie.
Over. Taya going to take advantage of the distraction.
John was talking about a fluke. Mikey Whipwreck won the title in this building on a fluke. It's a fluke, and he's right.
No fluke about this Fujiwara armbar.
Oh, she has that in deep. She has that in deep. She has it in deep. Oh, God.
Taya just tapped out.
Although her defense against Ava Everett last weekend at Never Say Never aired first, yesterday's televised match against Valkyrie was Exo's first actual defense of the title. On the main event of the show, John Hennigan defeated Willie Mack and Leo Rush in a three-way match. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.